Let's talk about one of the biggest digital transformations happening anywhere on the planet right now, India's massive data center boom. This is literally the physical foundation being built for the country's digital future, and believe me, the numbers behind it are absolutely staggering.
So let's just start with this number, 5x. This isn't some small incremental increase. We're talking about a 5-fold multiplication of India's entire data center capacity between now and 2030. That is a signal of hypergrowth on a truly national scale.
And what does that 5x growth actually look like in the real world? Well, it means going from about 1.7 gigawatts of capacity today to a massive 8 gigawatts. That is a huge amount of power and computing muscle that's about to come online.
Now, to build all of that, it's going to take a staggering amount of cash. We are looking at a $30 billion investment. You have to understand, this isn't just about putting up a few warehouses. This is about constructing the very backbone of what's becoming a trillion-dollar digital economy.
Okay, so we've established the sheer scale of this thing. The next big question is, why, right? What is causing this colossal demand? It really all comes down to what you could call a great data deluge.
The need for all this digital real estate is being fueled by a kind of perfect storm. You've got new technology, massive changes in user behavior, and even government policy all coming together at once.
And it really boils down to 3 core drivers. First, there's just an explosion in data usage from everyday people. Second, you have the intense new demands of artificial intelligence. And third, there are government rules that actually require data to be stored locally, inside India.
I mean, just think about your own day. All the streaming you do on services like Netflix, what the industry calls over-the-top platforms, plus all the online shopping, all the digital payments, it all adds up. Since just 2017, data traffic in India has multiplied 30 times over. All of that information needs a place to live, and that place is a data center.
Okay, now let's throw AI into the mix. This is a whole different ballgame. It's not just more of the same. A single server that's built for AI workloads can chew through 5 to 6 times more power and needs much more advanced cooling. This just supercharges the demand for bigger, more powerful, and more sophisticated data centers.
So we know what's being built and why it's needed. But how is this digital foundation actually being put together? And where is all the action concentrated?
The heart of this entire boom is something called the co-location data center. Now, instead of every single company trying to build its own little server room, they just rent space in these gigantic specialized facilities. Think of it like a high-tech apartment building for servers. The data center operator provides the secure building, the power, the cooling, and the clients just bring in their own server hardware.
And who are the biggest tenants in these server apartment buildings? Well, it's not even close. The massive cloud providers, your Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud, they lease about 60% of all the capacity. The next biggest is the banking and financial sector, which makes sense because they need incredible security and processing power.
And this new infrastructure isn't being spread out evenly across the country. Nope. A staggering 70% of India's entire data center capacity is concentrated in just 2 cities, Mumbai and Chennai. So why there? Well, it's all about location, location, location. They are the landing points for those huge undersea fiber optic cables that connect India to the rest of the world's internet. And they're also home to a lot of those major financial clients. Now, when you have an opportunity this big, you know the major players are going to show up. So let's take a look at the corporations that are battling it out to become the titans of terabytes in this new digital landscape.
As it stands right now, the market is incredibly consolidated. We're talking about just a handful of players, some global operators like NTT, some domestic powerhouses like Airtel Nextra, who control almost 90% of the entire market.
But this is where things get really, really interesting. You've got this classic showdown brewing. On one side, you have the established incumbents. These guys have the experience and the existing client relationships. But on the other side, you have these powerful new challengers, like Adani and Reliance, who are storming into the market with enormous amounts of capital and super aggressive growth plans.
And here's the kicker. The crucial point is this. While the market looks consolidated today, the future looks very different. Just those 2 challengers, Adani Connects and Reliance, are projected to build about a full 1/3 of all the new capacity that's coming online by 2030. They're absolutely poised to reshape the entire competitive landscape. So this $30 billion investment, it doesn't happen in a vacuum, right? It creates these massive ripple effects that spread across the whole economy.
That $30 billion isn't just a number on a spreadsheet. It represents real-world spending on steel, concrete, high-tech cooling systems, and highly advanced technology.
So let's break it down. Where does this huge pile of cash actually flow?
Well, just look at this breakdown. It really reveals the downstream impact. A full $10 billion, a third of the total, is going to go into just electrical and power systems. Another $7 billion is for all the server racks and internal gear, and $6 billion is just for the land and the buildings themselves. This creates a massive opportunity and, frankly, thousands of jobs for companies in real estate, manufacturing, and engineering.
But, building on this scale is not easy. As this quote highlights, this is an incredibly capital-intensive business, and it takes a long, long time to see a return on that investment. The players who can get their hands on massive, long-term funding are going to be the ones who ultimately succeed here.
So look, the demand is undeniable, and the stakes couldn't be higher. This digital infrastructure isn't some luxury. It is an absolute necessity for India's economic future. The real nail-biter isn't if India will build this. The real question is, in this $30 billion gold rush, who is going to dominate the race to build it?